Heather Johnson with AAPC. I am here with Kristine Lambert. Kristine, thank you for coming and chatting with us today.
You are very welcome.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Kristine Lambert. I am born and raised in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I am currently 33 years old and have been an AAPC member since 2016.
Okay.
Some of my hobbies outside of work are enjoying hiking and fishing with my 2 pit bulls and my husband. And we just finished our motorhome remodel. So
Congratulations.
Months and months of hard work that have finally paid off.
I love that. I have not been to Coeur d'Alene, but I hear it's beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Born and raised in Idaho?
Born and raised in Idaho, yes. I've been lots of other places though. So I backpacked through Europe in my early 20s for a month, and I've been to the East Coast, Hawaii, the Caribbeans, going to Mexico. So kind of
well-rounded.
I
love it. I know. Can you tell me I just want to know about your pitties just a little bit. I'm a dog person. I know we've got a lot of like dog people and cat people in the community, and I just want to hear about them.
So I have 2 pit bulls. One is a red-nosed brindle, and he just turned 14. So usually I have him sitting in my office right now, but I have a little dog bed and he hangs out with me all morning. And when I wake up, I said, okay, Booker, let's go to work. And he climbs the stairs with me and hangs out with me all day. And my second pitty is a blue nose, which he is more of a razorback. So he is white with gray spots, kind of like Petey from the Little Rascals.
Oh,
gray.
Yeah.
That big eye patch.
Yeah.
Yep. He is 7 and he is my guard dog. So if somebody comes, rings the doorbells, I know someone is here, but he doesn't care who you are. He just wants to take out into the driveway and meet everybody. So
cute. Yeah. That's so cute. So, okay. So I got they sound adorable. I'm a sucker for brindle. I just think it's like so beautiful. But you work from home.
I do work from home. Yes.
Okay. Tell me about your job, and now's your time to brag if you want to call out all those credentials you've got.
Yes. So I initially started at my local hospital in 2013. The company I had previously worked for had closed their doors, and I was originally going to school for paralegal. So it was a job for me to pay my way through school. I got into coding or got into the hospital, and I was doing cardiac scheduling. And we had an in-office auditor, and she was like, you got to do your CPC. You need to do coding. Like, you need to get into coding. So she came out one morning and said, oh my gosh, the CPC is on sale. It's wicked crazy right now. You have to do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went home, looked everything up, and I was like, okay, I'm doing it. So I signed up for AAPC in 2016, passed my certification in 2017, got a call from our coding department that said, wow, I've heard some great things about you. We would love to interview you. Please come meet me. Got hired on in 2018 with my CPC, completed my CPC-D 2019, my CRC in 2021, and my CPMA in 2022.
You are just collecting credentials.
Yes, I am collecting credentials. And so throughout that time, the previous employment I had was in plastics. So I already had that knowledge from a scheduling standpoint. So when I started my coding career, I was coding cardiovascular and plastics in dermatology. So it made sense for me after my CPC was to go for my dermatology certification. So that's the route I went. I just haven't stopped.
Are you okay? I was gonna ask how you got into medical coding, but it sounds like you just had a colleague who recognized your talent, saw the opportunity, and there was a great sale and was like, you got to do it. And you got to do it.
Nope, I haven't looked back. So I've actually have been a promoter for AAPC, and I have another colleague that I just got into coding, and she's currently going through training as well. So I'm like, woo,
I love
we're all going to be coders.
That's so fun. I love that. Are you in your dream? Okay, this is like kind of a 2-part question. One is like, are you in your dream role right now, or do you have like different career ambitions? And the second is, are you done collecting credentials, or are you gonna it sounds like you're doing one per year?
Yeah. I personally think I'm done with credentials at the moment. I had actually just applied for college to go back and get my bachelor's in possibly healthcare management. So
Cool.
I've been looking down that road right now to kind of further education instead of just credentials.
Yeah.
But maybe when that's finished, I've thought about going for my CPCO, possibly.
Yeah.
But like I said, a couple years down the road.
So what would you, if you did, you said healthcare management,
Yes.
what would the next step be after you get your bachelor's? Like, what's
So
your
I definitely want to stay in the coding job community. And
Mhm.
so currently, right now, I'm an auditor. And so I'm loving that position. And maybe I can help do a management or supervisor in our coding department, or possibly one day move up to our compliance department. But
Cool. I love that for
yeah,
you. So you want to stay with, you've been with that organization, sorry, since 2016?
2013, so
Oh,
9 years. Yeah.
2013. And you want to
Hmm.
stay there. You're happy there.
Yes, I want to stay here. Yep, great company to work for.
I love that. Do you want to call out what company you're at or
They
no?
prefer not. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
use them in the healthcare, the business magazine. So if anybody wants to go look, you can look. But
Okay.
unless it's pre-approved, our director prefers we don't
Smart.
say company names. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, cool. I've got a couple of questions I want to ask. I was going to ask what it was like preparing for your AAPC exam. You have now done a couple of exams. Can you talk about what that was like, especially maybe when it was your first time and you were so unfamiliar with it, like what that process was like, and maybe like tips for future examinees?
Yes. So my first CPC exam was in September that I took it, and I failed it. I missed it by 2 points. But just the test anxiety before I went was awful. I literally pulled over on the side of the road and threw up before I got to the
Oh,
class, before the test.
that is,
So I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect, and I had just the anxiety for myself was gut wrenching. So I failed it, and I was like, okay, I failed. And I was like, I take it again. I know my material. I know what to do. I just needed to calm down. And
yeah,
you could see that from my scores as you looked at those. As I was in the class, my first sections were just awful, horrible. And then as I started to calm down, it just went through the roof. So I knew I had the information. It was
hmm,
just me personally. So I went and took my second test in November. Didn't study in between because I was like, I know what I need to do.
hmm,
And there's no point in trying to jam more information in there
yeah,
and just make it more stressful. So I went in November again, took it, passed it. It was a piece of cake. And knowing that you can go into that second exam and what to expect, and you know the information, you have the information. It's just calming down and letting yourself take the time to answer those questions and have the confidence in yourself. And so ever since that second test, I knew what to expect, and it's just been a walk in the park since.
I love that, but I hate that your first test was so anxiety ridden. What did you do to calm yourself down? Like for I think that tests make a lot of people really nervous. What did you do to help yourself feel less stressed when you went for the second one in November?
For the second one, I didn't actually feel I did anything different. It was just knowing what to expect and
Okay.
that this was my test environment. This is what needed to be done. I knew what I was going into. And I think that anxiety part really lessened for me for that aspect.
Okay. So it really was just a big dose of confidence.
Yep. Hmm.
You didn't study anymore. You knew the
Nope.
material.
Hmm.
Did you use like our practice exams or study guides?
Yes, I went through the whole course. I did the terminology, anatomy, the whole course, practice exams. And so I knew I had the information. It was just that anxiety for
Mhm.
myself got me the first time. And when I
Yeah.
went back the second time, it was flying colors and continued on.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad that was so good for you. If someone were to tell you they were taking their first exam and you were to give them like 2 to 3 pieces of advice, like what would you say?
Don't change your morning routine.
Okay.
So some people go into it and they either eat really big breakfasts or really small breakfast or get a coffee or they don't because the nerves.
Yeah.
Just do what you do every single morning. And honestly, I bring snacks with me every time and I never eat them. Just something that you prefer to drink and put your head down and go to work.
Okay.
So, as I have gotten used to my testing now, I actually swing in and grab a little breakfast fruit bowl and take it with me to class. because and then we do all the book checks. So I sit there and eat breakfast as they're going through all the book checks and getting everybody registered and checked in, and I just go from there.
You're an expert now.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you see the people next to you and you can see they're stressed and you're like, guys, you got this. Like,
Yeah. Yes. So
we're all gonna be okay.
I went for my my CPMA just in June, and you can kind of see some new people coming in, and they just get all their stuff out and they have all their snacks and they're wrapping them all and they're kind of shaking. It was like, deep breaths. You've got this. You are here because you have studied and you know the material. Just take a breath.
I love it. I think that's really good advice. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so it sounds like your career has really taken the trajectory like that you have wanted, or maybe that you didn't like want or expect, but that has been like really great for you, which I love. Do you feel like AAPC has helped you, has supported you in that? And
tremendously.
If so, in what? Okay, tremendously. Please tell me more.
Tremendously. So the CPC is a really good overview of what is expected of coding. And then when you start getting into your specialty credentials, it really fine-tooth combs those and gets you all the information you need. And not only do the practice exams and the courses set you up for success, you have an entire community around you. So you have a Facebook you can ask questions, the forums, webinars, the magazines. There's so much information. You just have to take the time to learn it. And that's what people, I personally think, need to do. You know, it's a great resource to have.
I love that. I love that it's not just like a one and done, that it's not like, oh, you take the test, you get certified and you're gone. Like, it is a community. And it sounds like you're utilizing the networks of the Facebook group and like webinars and workshops. And I love that we've been a continual resource for you.
Yes.
Great. Okay, let me see if I have any other questions. I think mostly I just wanted to know if there was anything else that you wanted to share with the AAPC community.
Don't stop. Don't ever stop learning. You know, it doesn't have to be just coding. It can be in compliance and auditing or your regulations, but as an individual, just keep learning.
I love that. That's really good advice. Okay, and then before we sign off, Booker, and what's your other, what's the
Kilo?
Okay.
Kilo.
I wish that Booker and Kilo would have made an appearance. I'm a little sad they didn't, but I get it. We're being professional. But Kristine, thank you so much for talking to me, and I'm sure that the AAPC community is going to love hearing from you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Heather. It was great to meet you today.
You too. Okay, bye.
Bye.